Chef Buck here, and don't have a cooking video for today because it's Christmas. So Merry Christmas. Nobody's cooking today, are they? I mean, if it's not cooked right now, by now, then it's too late. I don't know, this perch feels precarious. Let's see, Camera Girl's gonna be doing some cooking today. She's gonna make some gumbo. She bought these crabs, she's got some fish and some shrimp. Let's see, I made a little bit of soup today. I made some kale soup. Doesn't that look healthy? So we'll probably be eating that later. Shot a video of it, so I'll edit it and see if that works out for a video. But we're just hanging out here in New Orleans. Oops, I accidentally turned it off somehow, we'll see. But we're hanging out in New Orleans at a house sit. We're kind of in a different area than what I'm used to in New Orleans. I've always lived kind of uptown off St. Charles in the Garden District or in the French Quarter. And we're in an area that's more drivable than that, which is good because we rode our car. So we've got a car and it's nice to have off-street parking, but doesn't feel like New Orleans, or at least not the New Orleans that I'm used to. Haven't been able to go to a lot of my old haunts, which might be a good thing. One of the best Christmases I ever had was here in New Orleans. It was years ago. In fact, it was my first Christmas in New Orleans as a young man, because I used to live up in the Bossier City area, up around Shreveport when I was a kid. Pretty formidable years, I think, although I really don't remember it. But I didn't come to New Orleans until I was a young-ish man. And one of my first Christmases in New Orleans was spent on Prytania Street. Prytania Street? It's like a block off of St. Charles. I was working on a boat as a waiter, and I couldn't hack it. It was too much work. And we made a lot of money, so after about a month of working on the boat, you know, I had enough money in my pocket to where I felt comfortable not having a job. And this lady that I worked with on the boat had an apartment on Prytania Street where she lived alone, but she was working on the boat, because on the boat you would work like 5 weeks on and 2 weeks off. And so when the boat hit New Orleans, you know, I jumped ship, I quit. And she said I could stay in her apartment because it was empty. You know, all I had to do was pay the utilities, you know, so I was going to stay there until I could get set up in an apartment of my own. And it was right around Christmas time. And I remember that first Christmas in New Orleans on Prytania Street, in that little rinky-dink apartment in that dilapidated house on Prytania, because this was, like a lot of houses along Prytania are pretty nice now. I mean, there's been a lot of gentrification over the years. But at that time, it was kind of a dilapidated place. And it was sort of a, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was a slumlord type place, but it had a lot of shady characters there. It was the kind of place that she would rent. You know, she kept this place and paid the rent even though she was almost always on the boat. So it wasn't a luxurious apartment. But I remember Christmas Day being here in her apartment, watching Meet John Doe on this little rinky-dink TV. In my mind, I think it was a black and white TV, but it probably wasn't, because this was in the 1990s. So it was probably a color TV, but it's an old black and white movie with Gary Cooper. And I think it's about Christmas. I can't really remember. Meet John Doe, but I remember watching it and enjoying it. And I had Doritos and hot dogs as my Christmas meal. And that was my first Christmas by myself. That was my first Christmas where I was all alone. I didn't know anybody in the city. I didn't have any family or friends around. And I loved it. I was like an adult. I was my own person in a new city. You know, I'd always wanted to spend time in New Orleans. And that was the beginning of kind of a decades-long love affair that I had with this city. And I lived in quite a few places after that for different amounts of time. And the last time I lived in New Orleans was around the turn of the century when I was in the French Quarter for about 3 years, which was a wonderful experience. And I had hoped to spend a lot more time in the Quarter this time, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I am enjoying where we're at here, and we've got a great Christmas planned. And I hope you have a great Christmas planned. You know, I hope everybody's doing super duper. It's been another tough year. I can't believe, you know, we're around up here on going to be starting our 3rd COVID year before we know it. But Camera Girl and I did get out a little bit this year. Did a few house sits, chomping at the bit to do more stuff, but don't know how it's going to work out. Every year is a mystery. How exciting. But Camera Girl and I are doing super duper. You know, our family's doing great. And a lot of it is just looking at it the right way, really. So I hope everyone out there that watches our videos and that we interact on the internet with is looking at things in a good way. I hope everything looks good for you, because how it looks to you is how it is. Doesn't matter how good or bad you got it, it's how you look at it. And I remind myself of that all the time, because it's a magic trick. But I hope that I can keep looking at it okay, and I hope that you all do as well. We appreciate, I don't know, we appreciate the experience that we're having making videos, which is, I guess, is why I wanted to make one here on Christmas Day. It's funny. It's hard for me to be sincere. I can hardly even say sincere. That's it. I don't know. I feel shy all of a sudden. But anywho, I hope that everything in your world is doing super duper bueno. Camera Girl's in there talking to her mom right now, and I'll give my mom a call in a little bit. And I hope that you and your family and your loved ones, or even if you're by yourself on Christmas. I love being in the city right now and thinking about that Christmas where I was by myself, eating hot dogs and Doritos and watching an old black and white movie. Definitely one of the highlights of all of my Christmas memories. Of course, I was young then, and I could run up and down stairs and leap tall buildings in a single bound. So it was a different time, but it's a good time now too. But anywho, we'll have videos coming in the future. We appreciate you watching them. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.